Hello, 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 hello. This is your friendly neighborhood growth hacker, Mr. Transformer, the Reverend Dr. Rhapsody Barrero, wishing you and yours a wonderful, splendid, marvelous experience in this day in the life, if you will. Yes. Oh, yeah. Important. We are down to the last 5 days of the Alpha Core #1 campaign. Go to rippaverse.com, that's RIPPAVERSE.com. Get your Alpha Core #1 copy today. Or pick it up somewhere within the next 5 days because the campaign is over on the 20th. All that means is you'll have to spend extra money if you buy it later, but it's better if you buy it during the campaign because you get all kinds of cool stuff. Like I showed you the merch pack. I got the beanie, got a poster. I don't know. I didn't break out the poster for you guys. Sorry. I guess I'll do it some other time. I bought cover C, the foil cover. It looks awesome. Got the Ingrid Valdez sweatshirt, and of course the Alpha Core t-shirt. Yeah, baby. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff! I gotta tell you. Oh my goodness. That story, amazing. Amazing. Like I said a couple of videos ago, I had read through the whole book. Took me like an hour and a half. Read through the whole book, put it away for safe storage because I want to keep it immaculate. And like several days later, I referred to it in my mind and I felt like I watched a movie. I felt like I watched the Alpha Core movie. And when they make the Alpha Core movie, ooh, that thing's going to be unfreaking believable. I'm here to tell you. Okay. Rippaverse.com. RIPPAVERSE.com. Get your Alpha Core. If you missed out on ISOM #1 and 2, pick up on ISOM #1 and 2. Get you some Rippaverse merch. They've got Rippaverse Studios t-shirts now. You got your what's your favorite part of ISOM t-shirts. It's just an inside joke. And hey, it's a beautiful thing, a beautiful time, a fun time to be had by all. Go get it. Alpha Core #1 at rippaverse.com, home of young Rippa59 from YouTube, Eric D. July. Alpha Core, written by the legendary Chuck Dixon and penciled by the great Joe Bennett. Okay, so today, I decided I'm going to make it a core tenet of everything that I talk about from here on out, because it's kind of already been that way on the way in. Somehow, some way, somewhere along the line, I'm going to interweave personal responsibility. Because as I said before, I feel like so many of the challenges that we deal with today in society has to do with personal responsibility. I can't say it enough. I won't stop talking about it because until you become responsible for the actions that you take in your life, you cannot increase the quality of the actions that you take in your life. Okay, so today, regarding personal responsibility, the question is, it's not a question, but it is a question. Why we ask permission? Okay, in the facilitator world, in the coaching world, in actually healers in general, all healers do it. To think about it, even doctors. So in my case, I recently had cataract surgery on my left eye. I'm going to have cataract surgery on my right eye in February, next month, in a few weeks. And I'm here to tell you, the first one, mind expanding. It's like I was looking at the TV in our living room through my right eye that hadn't had the surgery, and it looked like I was looking at the TV through like a brown filter. And then I closed that eye and looked at the TV through the eye that had just recently gone through cataract surgery, and it looked like I was looking at a new television. You don't know this until you know. And before that, it's just a theory. Before that, it's just something you're afraid of. Like, yeah, okay, I'm losing my ability to see really well, but I don't want them to get in there and mess up my eyes and go blind. And they saw me coming, and they were like, hey, we do this a lot. We do this very often to the point where we are at like 99 point some percent or 97 point some percent. They might have even gone as low as 93%. But as long as it was above 90, I was happy. Because, you get an A in school, you're happy with your A. I was happy with my A. I was happy with my surgery. That's why I'm going to have the other surgery. But back to asking permission. They told me months ago, years ago actually, that I had the beginnings of a cataract, and if I wanted to, I could have the surgery. And at the time, I was like, not so hot about somebody digging around in my eye. And but time passed, and vision got a little bit worse. So I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and break down and do the thing. But they asked me. They asked my permission. Because they said, you don't have to get the surgery. And I didn't have to get the surgery. I could have just mellowly walked along, bumping into trees, knocking over small children. Sorry, that's where my head goes. But then I decided, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So I went ahead and did it, was happy with it, gonna do it again, and yeah, it's really, 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 really a good idea. Okay, and also, like I said, all healers do it. Chris Duncan, the founder of Magnetic Mind with the Conscious Education Company, he always, throughout the course of whatever coaching session that you're having with someone, before you go in to do work together, because it's work you're doing together, you're not doing work on them, you're doing work with them. Just like when you choose to work with me. I will be doing work with you, not on you. And I will always ask permission to connect with your superconscious in our case, to get the work done. And just like David Key of auspicium.uk, who I'm learning NLP through, getting certified through NLP, before he takes somebody through a process, he always asks for their permission. Because, as David says, this is work that we do with someone, not to someone. And if you take it way, way, way back in the day, even Jesus Christo himself, Jesus Christ, would always ask anybody who was in dire straits, in need of a miracle, or who needed some physical help, or who needed a transformation, would you be healed? Do you want to be healed? Because otherwise, we're just walking around zapping people like Zach Levi in Shazam, walking around charging people's phones. Zap your phone's charged, zap your phone's charged, zap your phone's charged. And that sounds like a good idea in theory, but what you must understand, for some people, you could ask them if they would be healed, and if they were being honest with you, their answer would be no, because they, amazingly enough, I know you're thinking they're sick. Why wouldn't they want to be better? Because there's a benefit that they receive from being sick. Let that sink in for a minute. For some people, being sick gets them more phone calls from the grandchildren. For some people, being sick gets them more attention from mommy and daddy. For some people, being sick elevates them to someone who needs to be cared for. Like, I remember for the longest time, it's like wanted to believe or was starting to get the idea or the thought that one of our children was accident prone. Then I realized, wait a minute, no, this kid is not accident prone. I've seen this kid move. She knows how to move. She just wanted more attention. So the more accidents she got into, the more attention she got. So I made a deal with her. I said, okay, sweetheart, how about we do this? Before you have another accident, why don't you just come up to daddy and say, Daddy, I would like for you to pay me some attention so I don't have to have an accident. Then I pick her up, we walk around, I swing her around, we spend some time together. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So yeah. Just like that bumper sticker. Not all who wander are lost. Yeah. That's where that fits in. Okay? Yeah, okay. And like I said, at the end of the day, like I said at the beginning of this deal, it's all about personal responsibility. We have to be responsible for our own lives. Just like, oh man. And I know you're not supposed to speak ill of the dead, but I was just like, I don't know what kind of Superman you think you are, or, okay. I just recently found out that Gonzalo Lira passed away from pneumonia in a Ukrainian prison. Prior to that, he was making all kinds of noise against the Ukrainian war and against, we'll call it, a certain kind of laundry that was taking place between the Ukraine and the U.S. government. And yeah, first they picked him up, held him for a couple of weeks, let him go on his own recognizance, and then he tried to get out of the country. They nabbed him at the border, snatched him up, and that was the end of that story. But like I said, it's about personal responsibility. Because I remember, man, and I used to really dig this guy. Coach Red Pill, I followed his stuff for as long as I've been associated with the Manosphere and the Red Pill community. And I remember when I first heard, okay, I was surprised, first of all, that he was in the Ukraine in the first place. But I was like, okay, whatever floats your boat. If there wasn't a war there, I'd probably be there. The chicks are hot. All right? All right. But for me, as an American citizen of color, I know Joe Biden ain't coming to try and look out for my butt. You would think that, though. Okay, this is conversations that go on in my head. He was in a hurry to get Brittany Griner out of the pokey for bringing in CBD to Russia, because they don't play that. But as far as Gonzalo Lira, up there making noise, talking mess about what we're working over here to do under the cover of darkness, shining light on that, no. You can just hang out over there for a while. Enjoy the scenery. Yeesh. So he wound up getting pneumonia, double pneumonia actually, and some other thing. And they finally got him to the hospital after he had it for like 3 months. And then, he passed away within about a week after that, 10 days. Okay, so personal responsibility. Me, I'm like, if I'm over there kicking it, I don't care if I have 4 or 5 chicks lined up. I start hearing that there's bombs dropping and they're headed my way. I am booking my ticket. I'm going back home because, like I often say, when the day finally eventually comes, I want to watch the fall of Western society on television. Because I've seen what it looks like up close and personal, and I want no part of that. There were no 7-Elevens left open. No Starbucks, no McDonald's, none of that. And I need my Mickey D's. I know it's bad for you. I just need it, okay? Eventually I'll get better health-wise and mentally and stop eating that crap. But until then, I need my Mickey D's, I need my BK, I need my Bojangles, as we call it. I need my Taco Bell, I need my Chipotle. My Chick-fil-A, yeah. All right. But you have to take personal responsibility for your life. The way it goes is basically, if you are not the solution, then you are stuck in the problem, because if you're waiting for somebody else to come along and be the solution, sure, it might happen. It's possible. It might take you a few decades. Meanwhile, you're living a miserable existence because you chose not to take action on your life to increase the quality of your existence. Okay, more. More on personal responsibility. Like, not dissimilar to Marine Corps boot camp. Now, granted, you're broken down in squads, and you got a squad leader. Your squad leader is supposed to look out for you. The members of your squad are supposed to help you out if you're having challenges. At the end of the day, you are still the one that has to do the work. At the end of the day, you are still the one that has to take the action. No one is going to clean your weapons for you. No one is going to break down your M16A2 or A1, whatever they're using. It was A1 for me because, I'm dated. They're not going to do that for you. You have to at least be able to do that for yourself, because if you're out there in battle, you need to be able to clean your own weapon. You can't just hand it off to your buddy and say, hey, clean my weapon. You'd be like, nah, bro, I'm over here cleaning my weapon because that's what I was trained to do, because that's my job. Okay, people who don't know, I'm here to tell you. No matter what new fancy fandanglery job they might come up with, at the end of the day, this is part of the reason why they're able to get by on such little funding, and they continue to be. At the end of the day, every Marine is an 0311. At the end of the day, every Marine is a basic infantryman. It doesn't matter if you work in the office. It doesn't matter if you work in the supply warehouse. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you work in the armory. Well, except for, maybe not so much the armory, but because they'll need, you'll still need an armorer in the field, but that armorer will be mobile with his own weapon, guarding positions just like you. And that's part of what we get trained for in our 13 weeks of Marine Corps boot camp. And that's just the way that goes. Personal responsibility, personal responsibility, personal responsibility. Like sometimes it takes for some time to pass for you to realize your personal responsibility. Like in my case, okay, I got separated from the wife. That's my term of endearment for my recently, within the last 3 years, recently deceased wife. That was my term of endearment for the wife. The wife and I separated. And of course, in my head, I was like, okay, well, that's just her choice. She can do whatever she wants to do and whatever, what have you. And after I got through the suicidal ideation, I moved on with the help of the support of my network and going to meetings and connecting with people in the fellowship that I associated with. I'm involved in 12-step recovery, for those who don't know. And for the longest time, it's her fault. She did this to me. I laugh because it's so silly. And then after literally 2 or 3 years after the separation, I thought to myself, well, Rap, there is the small matter of you were supposed to be working on this business in Oregon after the family moved down to South Carolina, and then you were going to be catching up with them. You weren't working the business to the best of your ability. Meanwhile, you weren't communicating with the wife unless you happened to be home while the wife was on the phone with her sister, because I was staying at her sister-in-law's. And that's not a good sign to anybody. And eventually she figured, well, okay, I can't count on this guy. Let me just send him this letter saying that his services are no longer required. So she sent me a letter saying that my services were no longer required. But never got divorced. Never got divorced. And later on in life, she wound up getting sick. And I would, see, I'm living down here in Georgia. I would go up to North Carolina to visit her in the hospital or to go visit her at our oldest daughter's house. And, we were still friends. We were still friendly. We were still loving and tender and all that good, happy nonsense. We just weren't, okay. Sorry. I just crack me up sometimes. Okay. But, whew. And near the end, I was actually even considering, well, it was like, it was looking like there was a possibility that we might actually get back together. But as I explained to the person who brought that to my attention, I was like, I am entirely too damaged now. There was a time when I was this full-blown card-carrying, flag-waving Christian and, fatherhood, family, rah, rah, rah. And not that I'm not that, I'm still that, just not at that level. There are levels, and there are levels. Levels, try to get in the frame of the camera. And I was more like about here. I had been up here, granted, but I was like, not down here, but I was like, I was about here. I was about here. So, that just wasn't going to happen. But, but we were comfortable enough with each other and each other's presence that, we still enjoyed each other's company. It was great. Until it wasn't. And I say until it wasn't because, and I just bring this up just to bring it up. The last time I saw my wife alive, I was there visiting her and the kids for Christmas. And I was there for a little while, and for some strange reason, I just started feeling off, started feeling a little depressed. I guess, like, intuitively, my spirit knew something was coming up down the road, and it wasn't happy about it, but it didn't know how to tell me, so I just left early. And then I left, and she called me, and I was like, is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, everything's okay. I just wasn't feeling good, so I didn't want to, like, drag everybody down, so I just left. And so we parted on good terms. And that's the way you want to be. That's the way you want to do it. You want to part on good terms. Whether it be your parents, your wife, your kids. I mean, I'm not parted from my kids. I still love them to death. I would still do anything for them. And I look forward to seeing them whenever I can find time in my life or whenever they can find time in their lives to open up a window for me to be able to see them. But yeah. Across the board, life is good. I'm grateful. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you spending your time with me. I appreciate you taking in these wonderful golden nuggets of knowledge. Hopefully, you'll apply them to your life and increase the quality of your life and find out how good life really is. No matter what they tell you on the news, no matter what they tell you on social media, no matter what they try to beat you down with, telling you how horrible things are. Sometimes after you hear some stuff like that, you just need to go outside and touch grass. Go outside, touch grass, take a deep breath, get some sun in your face, walk around a little bit, pet a neighbor's dog if you don't have your own dog, pet a neighbor's kid if you don't have your own kid, if they'll let you. Life is good. Life is really good. Okay, so last time, Alpha Core number 1. Last 5 days of the campaign. Go to RIPPAVERSE.com, 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 Rippaverse.com. I'm going to go ahead and leave the link in the description because, we're getting down to the wire and we want to see the numbers go up. I mean, $1.2 million is nothing shabby. Please understand. That's almost unheard of. There are a lot of independent creators that wish they could get a campaign up to $1.2 million. Most of them don't get out of the five figures, truth be told. But yeah, so go to Rippaverse.com, pick up your copy of Alpha Core #1. And if you haven't picked it up yet, you can pick up ISOM #1, which is the first mentioning of Alpha Core. You can pick up ISOM #2, where you get to meet some other individuals that are going to be coming up in their own books later on. We're just building the universe, if you will, and it's going to be great. And you can pick up a short box so you can store these books safely, and just good stuff all around. Me love you a long time. Again, thank you for your time. I appreciate you. And I will speak unto you soon. Be well until then. Bye-bye, everybody. Yeah.